YouTube. Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. It is Friday, and this is Friday Night Live. I'm still not in my home. I had a hell of a week since I last saw you all last Friday. I haven't published one video this week, but here we are. The energy might be a bit different today, but I'm happy to be here with everyone. We already have some folks here. I'm just going to start giving a big shout out to everyone that's already here. Caleb, Reaper's Comic Den, Johnny, Isaac, Brandon, X11, Shadow Rat, let's see, Peter, Dan. It is so good. Unlucky Jack. What is going on? Dale. This is good, guys. This is good. For many of you, you know that I've had a rough week. I just want to take a few minutes here before we get into this again. Maybe a controversial topic of discussion today. But, oh my goodness. Already. X11, you don't get me emotional now before I even like get a sentence off. Thank you so much, X11. The support, again, guys, I'm left speechless with the support from this community, the real community. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I said to my Patreon members, my YouTube channel members, my viewers, you know, I apologize for not being here this week. With everything going on, though, you guys were here for me in so many different ways, and that means absolutely so much to me. Rodney, what's going on, Rodney? Travis, X11, again, thank you. I mean, you've been leading the way, carrying the torch in so many different ways yourself. To everyone who has, you know, pitched in, whether in whatever manner you guys have done to help support me, you know, emotionally and spiritually, even over this last week or so, is just, it goes beyond words. So again, I'm truly humbled and appreciative and thankful. Again, I want to reiterate, I feel like I am here for you guys every day, right? Usually 7 days a week until this last week. But while I was away, you guys were here for me. And that's why this community is so special. That's why what I do here in Journals Comics is so special. I always say it's a two-way relationship. It's not just me talking to a screen. You guys are so much a part of this channel, so much a part of Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. And I love you guys, man. That's for real. That is real. Comic Noob, what is going on? So here's the thing, guys. You probably saw the headline. That's so gay. Okay, controversial. I had the image of the Urban, whatever, Batman Urban Legends comic book on the thumbnail. You guys can see here, I have this statement here. This is not a political statement tonight. Basically, here's the thing, folks. Here's what happened. I went into this live stream. To be quite honest, I didn't even want to be here tonight. With everything going on, the thing that pushed me to be here and to do a show was the outpour of love and support from you guys all week long. And I said, you know what? I need to be here. I need this synergy, right? And I thought about just having a fun show, about just having not a specific topic of discussion. I just wanted to come on, have a show, and hang out and say thank you, talk, like answer questions, and just chill. But something had came up, and maybe I'm not in my right mind this week. Maybe I'm not with everything, but I don't care. And I went down to write notes, because when I have a topic of discussion, a lot of times I sit and I write notes and I write an outline. I went down and got in front of my doc. This was last night, and then I did it again today. I wrote, you know, the topic of discussion, you know, Friday Night Live. And then I had one pinpoint, and that one pinpoint said, this is not a political statement. And then I pressed enter, and then it gives you another bar, you know, another pinpoint. And I wrote nothing. I wrote nothing else. Nerds being geek, what's going on? I wrote nothing else, folks. I woke up this morning, didn't sleep much last night. When I finally got back to my laptop and I pulled up my doc and I had Friday Night Live, okay, notes, outline. this is not a political statement. And then I had that next pinpoint, and I sat and I looked at it. I wrote nothing. I wrote nothing. And I said, screw it. Screw it. I got nothing for this because I'm just going to let it flow tonight, folks. And again, maybe I'm not in the right mind to do this. Maybe some of you might even say, yo, Journo, Chris. I don't know. Just leave it alone, you know. But here we are. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about some things before we get into the topic of discussion. As always, everyone being here, if it's your first time and you like the channel, you like what I do, and you want to support, please subscribe to the channel. I'm still going to be doing my 8,000 subscriber giveaway contest. I have not been home. My home, actually, my home is, the entirety of my home is now a containment zone. I can't even go through the front door. I should take a picture of it. The front door is contained. So I apologize. It's still going to be delayed, but I will have an 8,000 subscriber contest. Anybody that's subbed will be able to enter and win. It's going to be very, very easy. As always, I let everyone know about the links below. Of course, it's Friday. We will be having a comic book canon show tonight, so I advise and encourage everyone to check out our comic book canon YouTube and subscribe over there. It's going to be a shortened show this week, but we're going to do Fresh from the Comic Shop. We're going to pick another semi-finalist for our X-Men #4 First Omega Red CGC 9.6 giveaway. Awesome. And we're going to have a top 10. We have a nice top 10 to discuss tonight. All right. So I hope to see all of you guys over there. Please give us a sub over there. Of course, if you guys want to support the channel, there's my links to my membership pages. I won't go too much into that right now, just simply because my current members, some of you are already here. I've been delayed in getting you guys your monthly content. And like I said before, I promise that monthly content will be there. And I'm going to be doing another, as well as the contest that I'm supposed to run this month for July that I haven't got to yet. It's going to happen. Everyone's still eligible. I'm going to, right when we do that one, I'm going to do another one in September for that Tales to Astonish CGC 8.0 White Pages, second appearance of Abomination, first cover appearance. Donated by amazing friend of the channel, Dan. So I will be giving that away like back to back because I feel like all of my channel members, my Patreon members deserve it. So let's see what else. Again, I apologize. I did not upload a video this week. If you guys saw Comic Book Canon last Friday, I took the clip that I did discussing the passing of good friend and mentor, Zumbi of Zion I. If you guys have not watched that, I absolutely encourage you guys to watch it because I took the clip and uploaded that on my channel. And that was the last thing I did. I haven't had much in me on top of everything else I'm dealing with in my personal life. So, but an update going forward, I'm working on a video right now. It is a undervalued second appearance video. All right. So I've started working on it. I just haven't had a lot of time. I want to get that up hopefully by maybe Monday for all of you guys. It's going to be awesome. I promise. Okay. So I am going to start getting back on a schedule. I do want to let you guys know again, and I hinted about this last week. I had a job interview this week. It's for a full-time educator position instead of the part-time one that I'm working now. I don't know if I received the position yet. If I do, I will let you all know. But I want to assure you guys that it's not going to take me away from journals. Well, it's going to, my 7 days a week, that's going to have to scale back some. But I promise you guys, I will be giving you guys content every single week, regardless. Journals Comics is not going anywhere. I'm still going to have my Friday Night Lives. We're still going to do Comic Book Canon. I'm still going to be bringing you like a top comics to invest in every week. I'll probably be doing like at least a haul or an unboxing video every week and at least some type of hot topic or like collector tip video every week for you guys, right? So Bearded One, what is going on? Appreciate it. Anthony, oh, big shout out to Tommy Boy Collects. This is a Star Wars. Where's the Star Wars mashup with the Angels hat? He sent me this as a birthday gift last week. I just want to give a big shout out to Tommy from Tommy Boy Collects. Thank you so much. Rocking it tonight. Red and navy blue are my favorite color schemes. So this is a clean one. You guys know I like my hat. So Joshua, thank you for showing up, Joshua. All right, folks, are we ready for this? Are we ready for this? I spent 10 minutes yapping it up. I got some water. We're going to get into this, guys. Here's the thing. I made 2 posts over the last few days on my community board. Phil, what's going on, Phil? For those that don't know what the community board is, it's basically where I can post on YouTube and I can just do a typed post, kind of like a Facebook post. It doesn't have to be a video, and you guys can see that when you're scrolling YouTube, your YouTube feed, right? And I posted something originally a few days back because I just heard some folks talking about this reveal that Tim Drake is bisexual. The Urban Legends issue number 6. The end of the story showed this to be the case. It was a hot topic. And immediately I hear people, not only people, but people with platforms. And what do I always say, folks? People with platforms, the cliche, right? With great power comes great responsibility. Battle Panda. YouTube content creators, anybody that has an audience, anybody that has people listening, we have to be careful with the things that we say. We have to be careful with the narratives that we spin, with the facts that we deliver, and with our own opinions, right? Somebody said, and it's popular belief that just because Tim Drake is now bisexual, that it's based on lazy writing. But individuals that state this admit to not reading the story. So I made a comment simply stating this. I wasn't disagreeing with anybody's opinion on bisexuality, gay, the changing of a character, a revelation of a character, anything. I'm not disagreeing with anything. All I said was this. We cannot judge a story in any form or fashion without reading it. Period. Period. Do you know that old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? This is even worse. How are you going to tell me that a story has lazy writing just because you know one thing that happened in that book, but you don't know the story and the writing itself because you have not opened up the pages to read it? And boy, did this open up the can of worms. I've lost over 20 subscribers in the last 3 days, probably more because I'm gaining subscribers while I'm losing some. So my subscriber count went down by 20. So if I've gained 20, that means I've really lost 40. And I even had somebody comment on that post saying, way to alienate some of your viewers. You might want to, worry about your business. And, and I'm like, this is where I'm at right now, folks. I had a hell of a shit week. I had a hell of a shit ass week. Sub Money, what's going on? Ritual Dello, what's going on? I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. I don't give a fuck anymore. If you want to unsubscribe me because I make a simple subscribe from my channel, because I make a simple statement, it's not even a bit. That's why I said this right here. This is not a political statement at all. You know what it is? It's a statement of critical thinking, and the value of real artistic critique. Okay? Let me repeat that again. This is upholding the value of of critical artistic critique, or valid artistic critique. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? It is very important that when we dive into philosophy and debate and argumentation, and when we dive into anything that involves journalism and all these things, what do they lead to? Opinion. Opinion. Whenever we have an opinion, when our opinion becomes uneducated, it doesn't matter if you believe something that is over here or something that's over here. An opinion will always be an opinion. But how do we establish opinions? By gathering data, by gathering facts, by gathering factors and variables. Okay? And although opinion isn't a finite answer to an equation like mathematics, in math, when you put variables together, there's only one answer. That's how math works. Now, opinions, there's not always one answer. That's why they're called opinions. But if you get to opinion without having solidified factors that allow you to cohesively adhere to said opinion, then your opinion becomes not only null and void, but it becomes dangerous because it becomes rhetorical and it becomes something that is perceived by your audience as holding some type of critical evaluative weight. But it doesn't when you're telling your viewers, or you're telling people that are listening to you, that this story is this, but I haven't read the story. It's that simple. I don't care if you saw that Spider-Man had a new costume and you said, man, that them making that new costume, that's lazy writing. Okay. Have you read the comic? Tell me that you've read the comic and you understand what the suit is, why it's there, how the suit relates to the story, relates to the character, and then put all those factors together, gather your data, gather the facts of the story and the writing, and then put a solid framework to hypothesize your opinion as being an educated one. Opinions are not fact, but opinions still need to be educated. And then this is what I get. As soon as I say something like this is what I get. Oh, why do you have to argue with people that don't agree with you? I don't give a shit if you disagree with me. If there are people in the chat right now that have read Urban Legends, and most likely you probably wouldn't just want to read that one issue, you want to read issues 1 through 6. If there's people in the chat right now that have read issues 1 through 6 of Urban Legends and can tell me that, yes, I read it, and after, deep analysis of what I've taken in from the writing, I think that them inserting this variable on this character that now he's bisexual and he wants to go on a date with a male, I see this as lazy writing because of this. I may not agree with you, but guess what? Your opinion will be valid because at least you have data behind why you feel the way you do. Does this make sense? Because I hope it does. This is not a political statement. This is about critical thinking and techniques to critique things in life. I don't care if we're critiquing sports, comic books, fashion, anything. You can't be in a conversation with somebody and say, yeah, I'm getting my house renovated. I'm using, so-and-so Remodels Inc. Oh, so-and-so Remodels Inc.? I've never heard from them. Yeah, they're probably shady. They're shady? How do you say that? Yeah, but that name Yeah, that's a lazy name, and it's probably shady. It's probably a lazy business. Wait, you didn't you just tell me that you haven't even heard of that company? Oh yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter. I can that name shady. Something, yeah. Are you kidding me? I don't care what we're discussing. So I lose subscribers. But this is what it tells me, folks. This is what it tells me, and this is where it gets into, I guess, blurs the line of a political discussion, but it's still not political because it's about respecting fellow human beings. I'm going to say something right now. I have always, if you guys watch my channel, I always say this: everyone is welcome here. I don't adhere to party politics. I don't stereotype based on politics, religion, race, ethnicities, anything. Right here, I always welcome differences of opinions, different ways that we collect. We're divided in so many ways. In this hobby, speculators are ruining comic books. Speculators to old heads. Oh, you guys are ruining, variants are ruining comic books. I can't stand how that guy collects. This YouTuber's a fraud. That YouTuber's manipulating the market. I welcome everyone because guess what? We are all different. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, Muslim, Christian, young, old, rich, poor, Democrat, Republican, atheist. I don't care if you buy 30 copies of a new comic off the shelf to flip, or if you buy one to hold on and read. I always welcome everyone in their differences because at the end of the day, we are still more alike than where we differ, but those differences make us unique and we learn from our differences. We educate each other by understanding differences. But yet I'm the one that has had the finger pointed at saying, you can't agree. You have a problem agreeing with anyone that disagrees with you. No, the real problem is you can't stand the fact that I'm sitting here talking about a bisexual comic book character. And that's what it boils down to. I will not. There was people that commented on that. Good friend of the channel, Tom, I forget his last name. He brought up things to why he felt maybe Tim Drake being bi wasn't wasn't necessarily the right thing to do. And I said, respectfully, Tom, I disagree. And he came back and said, I'm not going to unsub you. We can disagree. It's all love. And I said, Tom, I appreciate you. There you go. But the majority of these types of people, it shows me one thing. And I will not tolerate any type of prejudice and any type of hate on my channel. I will not. So here's what I have to say about people that unsubscribe me. First off, don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight me. Because my argument about the Tim Drake issue and about the issue of saying it's lazy writing, like I said, it ain't even about him being gay. He could be, they can have a reveal that he has 7 toes or that he has 2 toes. They can reveal that he's really a freaking amphibian, that he has gills. I don't give a damn. Don't call the writing of a comic book anything if you have not picked up that comic book and read it. That's what my argument was about. But it showed me the reaction, the instant reaction that I got proved to me that they were reacting and putting up a defense because of their preconceived biases. And I understand, look, folks, bias, I'm not necessarily sitting here judging people because of biases. We got to understand that we grow up and everyone has biases, okay? And hopefully as we grow and mature and as we learn about different people's experiences and different people's, cultures and things like that, we can educate ourselves and open our mind up to eliminate some of those biases, right? So I'm not trying to even say that all these people are evil, but you can't gaslight me and tell me that you guys don't have a problem with this simply because a character's bi. And I want to, hold on. I want to finish my thought, but I got to give a big shout out to Reaper's Den with the super chat. You are fighting a fight humanity has dealt with for forever. Keep up the good fight, brother. More people are pushing away from old mentalities. Reaper's Den, Reaper's Comic Den, you've been so supportive as a late too, man. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat and for those kind words of support, for sure. So my thing is this. What was I saying? The only time, and I know this because I'm a content creator that talks about this stuff, the only time I get pushback about it's lazy rising, it's pandering, it's virtue signaling, all these sensationalized key phrases that are thrown out there and regurgitated. The only time I get it is when it's about sexuality, gender, or race. So here's the thing. You know what's lazy writing? You know what can be argued as lazy writing, folks? You know what can be argued as lazy writing? How about bringing Norman Osborn back from the dead for the 28th time? Bringing Norman Osborn back from the dead for like the 2800th time. That's lazy writing, in my humble opinion. And I've read every single Spider-Man comic book, so I can speak to that. Why is there no outcry like there is for something like that if we were really concerned with lazy writing? Because guess what? It's not about lazy writing. Because they never read the comic book. They see bisexual. And here's another issue. These same people that say this, they say he's gay. And they don't even realize how ignorant that statement is, because bisexual is not gay and gay is not bisexual. They are two different things. You know what's lazy writing? Maybe, or what could be? The death of Scarlet Witch. You know she's going to come back. She ain't dead. Where's the outcry for that? Because it doesn't involve sexuality, race, or gender. That's why. Now, here's the thing. Because everyone is so focused on this, oh, you're a liberal, you woke, go broke. You know, when it's not even about the bisexuality, it's about you can't have an opinion on a story if you haven't read the story. But since everyone else wants to make it about bisexuality, go woke, go broke, SJW, and I don't even buy into any of that stuff. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. I actually understand, and I've talked about this on my channel, and I try not to because I don't need to talk about this stuff. I'm here to experience this community and not to stay away from this nonsense. On both sides. Talked about it on Comic Book Canon. When you have a middle-aged white man create characters like Snowflake and Safe Space, you could sit there and try, and say, this might not be organic or naturally done. This guy might just want his kudos to seem like he's a good human being because he's being socially active by saying, oh, I'm going to throw it in their face and make these LGBT characters and when it's really like you're out of touch, you're out of tune with the LGBT community. This is not genuine. Go partner with an actual LGBT artist or writer and work on creating characters that are natural, right? Things like that. So I'm stating this to show you all that this isn't me being on some one-sided social argument. It's plain and simple. Don't have an opinion about a book if you haven't read the book. Let's go back to Spider-Man's new suit. You don't need to read the story to sit and say that the Spider-Man's new suit is ugly as hell. What the hell? That is ugly. But now, if you're Stevie Wonder and somebody's telling you, oh, Spider-Man got a new suit, and Stevie Wonder saying that suit's ugly. How the hell is Stevie Wonder going to have the validity to sit and tell us that Spider-Man's suit is ugly because he can't see it? It's the equivalent of that. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Comic Collector Geek, what's going on? Nostalgia Express. I'm not even gonna guys, and here's the thing, guys, I'm not mad. I'm reading some comments, and I'm not gonna call you guys out by name, but I completely disagree with where you guys are coming from. And I bet if we sat down and actually had a conversation, like face to face, not me ranting at a screen and you guys trying to type stuff up, that's not gonna get anywhere. But I bet we can have a conversation and we can probably come to some middle grounds. But it's just, I'm not even going to get into this. First off, I will say one thing, though. The term woke, if you guys want to make a valid, if you guys believe what you're saying and you want to make a valid argument, stop using the terms woke and SJW. Stop. They're tag words. They're trigger words, and they don't mean shit. Okay? They are regurgitated rhetoric to spark reactionary emotions instead of critical thinking. All right? So, and I'm saying this respectfully, folks. If you believe that there's an issue going on with certain things, stay away from using those taglines. Because all you're going to do is you're going to like rally up the pitchfork camp, and you're going to speak to emotions instead of logical fact. Okay? So I would encourage you all to stay away from the terms woke and SJWs. Just like me. People throw out and tell me, oh, you're a freaking liberal. Like, I don't partake in party politics. And we get caught up in these terms, liberal, conservative. If you look at the definition of the terms, most people have both. We are liberal in certain ways. We are conservative in certain ways. And I don't adhere to party politics. When I vote, I'll probably vote for some Democrats, for some Republicans, for some independents. Why? Because that's not how I vote. I don't blindly adhere to a boxed ideology. And when you use these terms, woke and SJW, that's what you do. You speak to this rhetoric that has no substance ultimately, because it's all feeding that sensationalism. All right? So I'm not telling you to have your opinions, but I'm telling you to be very careful, be mindful of the verbiage that you use to convey those opinions. Otherwise, you're just going to be preaching to this choir of this loud minority, right? And you have to be open to what other people experience and say as well. But guys, I'm going to bring up right. Thank you, Comic Collector Geek, for acknowledging that. Devo says, why are some reimagined characters accepted and others aren't? I mean, I don't want to assume what you mean by that, but I just said, look, we can reimagine a new suit for somebody. We can reimagine somebody having a change in powers, and it's accepted. At least there's no social media outcry. But if it has to do with gender, race, or sexuality, it's a big outcry, because I do think that culturally a lot of people can't accept it yet. And on top of that, they adhere to this small minority that regurgitates the same sensationalized nonsense. And I'm not saying that there's no valid, they aren't valid in questioning things. But I'm just saying we have to get outside of these boxes, folks. But again, my topic of discussion today it's not about sexuality and gender or any of that. It's about, don't tell me that there's lazy writing in a story that you haven't read. I'm going to pull up a comment, though. I'm going to pull up a comment, folks, and I'm going to read this because I think this individual outlined this so perfectly. Female Iron Man. I mean, I have no guys. You know, here's the catch-22 too. People, the same people that are going to sit here and say that comic books are stale and they're doing the same damn thing, when they do something to change things, it's a problem as well. Everyone's fickle. Nobody's ever happy. Nobody's ever happy. So they're lazy reading too. Absolutely. Like I said, man, you got a problem with it. Read the story first and tell me you have a problem with it. Substantialize your argument. Substantiate your argument first. I don't have to agree with you, but at least I'll respect your argument. Read the comic. Tell me that you think that Tim Drake having 6 toes is lazy writing, and I might not agree with you, but at least you substantiated your argument because you goddamn read the book. Excuse my language. All right, folks, I'm going to read this right here real quick. All right, there's this comment right here, folks. I'm going to read this. Now, I'm not going to point out any of the negative comments. I don't want to put anyone on blast or think that like I'm criticizing them. So I'm going to read this comment, and we're going to read it like it's not directed at a certain individual, but as a generalized statement, okay? Callan says, automatically not liking a story you haven't read would make you what then? Would it make you well-educated? Would it make you informed? Would it make your opinion matter? Literally, none of the above. And that's a fact. Automatically not liking a story that you haven't read does not make you well-educated, does not make you informed, and does not make your opinion matter. Your opinion is null and void, as I stated in the beginning of the show, because you have not solidified an argument. He goes on to say, you are predetermining your disposition based off of either an ideal, because you don't like bi people, you don't like that he's bi, or because it's the masses, the general consensus doesn't like it, so I don't either, or it's just an excuse. All new books are lazily written, but I haven't even given them a chance. And I see all those 3 things happening so much in this community and in this hobby. I see people disliking a story or something that they have not even read or they have not even dove into, and they have a predetermined disposition because of either of those 3 things, because they are biased about something and they can't wrap their head around a character being bi, or a character changing to a woman, or a character change the race of their skin, or because they're just adhering to this general popularized consensus, right? They don't like it, so I don't either. You know, this groupthink mentality, or it's just a simple excuse like, well, comics are lazily written, but I haven't picked a new comic book up in 10 years, so what do I know? But I do know because I know, right? You know what that sounds like to me? Laziness on your part, and that's the irony in all of this. He goes on to say, you don't have to read the book, you don't have to like the book, that's your choice, but to then gaslight your uneducated opinion onto others is where you look silly. And I don't like that he used the word stupid. I don't like that he's calling it, like, I wouldn't have used that wording. I encourage anyone to, disagree with folks, make your statement, but don't, you could say like your statement sounds ignorant instead of stupid, or calling people idiots and calling people names. I'm never for that. So let me get some water, and it's hot in here. Whew. I'm going to say it like this, folks. I lost subscribers over the last few days because of one simple thing. Because people are still prejudiced against the LGBT community. That's why. It had nothing to do with me disagreeing with someone. It had nothing to do with the base of the argument that I'm just telling people to read a comic book before you have an opinion on the story or the writing. It has to do with the straight up fact that I didn't hop on that consensus of, they hate it because he's bi, I have to hate it too. I guarantee you, here's the funny thing. I guarantee you, if I came out and used the same rhetoric and said, you know what, all these people are talking about Tim Drake being bi now as lazy writing, I agree. If I would have sat here and made a video or did a post agreeing with it, I would have been championed and I would have gained more subscribers. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But guess what? At the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I don't care, because it tells me that if you want to unsubscribe from me because of two reasons, because of one, because you misunderstood me and you can't have a respectful debate, or that you showed your true colors and your true biases, I'm good, because I will not tolerate it. I will not tolerate it. Having a well-educated opinion and saying that, you know what, them making this character a woman or them making this character bi, I don't think it fit. I read the stories. I'm familiar with the character, and these are my reasons why. And you can have an actual respectful, non-hate-filled, objective opinion on it. I'm going to respect that. And I'm sure people that don't agree with you, the majority of them, will at least respect that. But that's not what's going on here with the majority of these people and with these people that unsubscribe from me. It's plain and clear. I don't want you here. I'm not going to sit here and sell my soul for subscribers and clicks. And the irony of that is, yeah, this is my business. This is my business. It's what pays my bills. It's what puts food on my children's plates. But guess what? I will not feed my children off of money that I earn from people who live with hatred in their heart. I will not gladly and passively accept the support in the ad revenue earnings that I get from people that do not accept our LGBTQ community, that do not accept minorities, that do not accept women, any type of racism, prejudice, misogyny, homophobia, any of that. I will not tolerate it. Now, do I need to sit here and talk about it on my channel every single day? No, I don't. And I don't. There are people out there on both sides of these types of arguments that use something like comic books and then or geek culture and pop culture, geeks and gamers, that use this geek culture and this pop culture and this hobby as a tool, as an end to create sensationalized rhetoric that divides people and that spews nothing but hatred. On both sides. On both sides. I will never do that. Because I would rather be the person that brings people in and that unites us by the thing that we all love, which is comic books. And I do ride a fine line, folks. It is a fine line that I ride to be able to basically, mediate extreme opinions. And I get them all the time. I get extreme. I'm always thorough in responding to my comments and being active with my viewership. And I get very conservative opinions. I get very liberal opinions. I get people that seem to have these preconceived biases, but yet they're just trying to understand. Like, I don't know. I was listening to this YouTuber, Ethan Van Scriber, and I'm telling you right now, no matter what you believe in, if you watch that guy's channel, you are being manipulated and brainwashed by rhetoric that has no base to it. I do my best to be a mediator of different opinions to show, look, let's listen to the different opinion, listen to my opinion, and even in the end, if we don't fully agree, I guarantee we can find commonalities and we can learn from each other. Jason, I appreciate that. It absolutely is. Yeah, Battle Panda, absolutely. They look for arguments. And again, that's on both sides. It's like, you have geeks and gamers who, I talked about. I actually did a live stream with Geeks and Gamers because I won't even get into that. And Jeremy with Geeks and Gamers, I felt like we had a very honest, open, heartfelt discussion. He even admitted to me that he does what he does for clicks and views. He admitted that. He admitted it to me. He admitted to me that he does nothing but divisive videos because it gets him clicks and views. That's selling your soul. There's other people, though, that make nothing but videos talking about Geeks and Gamers. It's like, what makes you any different? Geeks and Gamers goes against SJWs, and in their taglines, it's like anti-SJWs ruining Disney. And like people like Geeks and Gamers are SJWs ruining Disney. And it's like, just stop. Stop. I will never use any divisive rhetoric on either end to cater to a sensationalized, divisive ideology and rhetoric, ever. Thank you, Sub. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So here's my thing. I'm going to actually encourage folks, if there are folks watching, I probably already scared a lot of folks away. Maybe they unsubscribed. I don't know. But here's the thing. If you are a true, honest to God, decent human being, which I do believe most of us are, even with our flaws, and if you hear something like, this character is bi, or this character is now a woman, or whatever the case may be, or the live action version of this character is now like biracial instead of white. Even if you have defenses that go up, I encourage you to, don't ignore your thoughts and your defenses, but I encourage you to listen to other people's experiences and to try to be empathetic outside of your own experiences, in your own cultural upbringings, in your own cultural biases. Because if you do that, you still may not agree with everything, but at least you're going to have a well-informed opinion, and you're still going to hold yourself to being a decent human being. And that's what it boils down to. I did want to bring up one other thing, too, regarding this. We're going to have to get going soon here, folks. But somebody brought up in the comments saying, why can't they, they want to make characters bi or change things. Like, why don't they just create new characters? Well, they do. They do. But sometimes it works into playing into the old characters, because you got to understand this. When the majority of these characters were being created, they were white, they were straight, they were what was culturally accepted for decades, most of these characters are American characters, United States creators, right? And I don't want to dive too deep into this rabbit hole, but Black characters were not accepted. All right, minority characters were not accepted. Gay, bi, LGBT characters were not accepted for decades. And yeah, we've had a couple of them along the way. North Star's 30 years old, fine. But you got to understand, even with like bisexuality, gay, LGBT, there are people that live their whole lives in the closet posing as straight, and they don't come out until they are gray and old. Look at what's his name? Oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name right now? The singer, Benny and the Jets. I can't believe I am brain farting on his name right now. I mean, he was what, in his 50s when he finally came out? You know, you got to understand that we still live in a world. Yes, things are getting better. No, we shouldn't force things. And I think that term force is used way too often. You shouldn't have people that are so out of touch with minorities or women. Like, don't have a middle-aged male writing a story about female empowerment. Give a woman an opportunity. Give women writers and editors opportunities to come in and tell their stories, right? Don't just create a black character and make them about like, oh, I lived a life and I fight for social justice when you haven't ever lived that life. Don't be out of touch with it just because you want your cool card. And I understand that. But we got to understand that, new characters are created, old characters are changed. And it really makes no difference if it's saying, oh, this character's bi, or, oh, this character was really like a villain the whole time, or, oh, this character has 6 toes, or, oh my God, they changed his uniform. Or, oh, Spider-Man isn't in love with Mary Jane anymore. He's hooking up with freaking Felicia. Oh, Norman Osborn really wasn't dead for the 30th time. Stop sensationalizing race, gender, and sexuality as being such negative things simply because maybe you don't understand them. Thank you, JoJo. Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Just be you and be Johnny. So that's my take, folks. But I want to say one last thing here. I'll maybe try to get to a few comments before I go. Let's go back. This wasn't even about sexuality. It was plain and simply about read the story before you tell me the story's lazy. Can you imagine? And maybe I'm dating myself. Y'all remember Siskel and Ebert? Can you imagine Siskel and Ebert? For those that don't know, Siskel and Ebert, they did movie reviews on like the local station, when they would sit in a movie house and they would sit there and they would review the new movies, and they would sit there and they'd talk, and then they'd show little clips of the film, and then they would rate it. They'd give it 2 thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever, right? And can you imagine them sitting there, they're like this in their chairs, and they're like, yo, Ebert, yeah, what's up, Siskel? So we're reviewing, Black Widow. Right, yeah. So what did you think of the film? I thought the film was lazy writing. Oh, that's right. Have you seen it yet? Nope, ain't seen it yet. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Siskel and Ebert sitting down critiquing a movie that they ain't seen? So when I see content creators making videos saying Robin's gay when he really is not, he's bisexual, they are 2 different things. The fact that you can't differentiate that shows me ignorance. Don't sit and make a YouTube video telling me Robin's gay and it's lazy writing, and admit to the fact that I ain't even read the comic book. Don't sit here and tell me that you ain't happy with the character having 6 toes and call it lazy writing when you ain't even read the comic book. It's that simple, folks. Viewers always seem to hate the best movies. Absolutely. Boom. Phil, yeah, they were hating on Star Wars. I think I've seen that review, but I don't really remember it. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, I got to check that out. Derek, I really appreciate that comment. This is the most amazing and in-your-face depiction of the reality of society that we all live in demanding comics have to reflect it. I appreciate that. I really do. Man, guys, I mean, I don't know what else to say. If anybody has any statements or questions before we log off, I do got to get ready for Comic Book Canon. I will tell you guys, it was good to be here today, and I appreciate Movement. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you guys because I think I said, like, I just had a week and I didn't even really want to be here tonight, and I addressed it kind of a touchy topic, and I didn't know how it would go. I appreciate everyone in the comments being respectful and humble and stating their opinions. And I know that we had some different opinions in the comments, and I really appreciate you all for listening and for being open-minded and respectful. In Imperious Flex, I think it's more of a critique of that choice, not necessarily the book as a whole. And it's not the first time something like this has been discussed. It's not the first time, and that's the problem with it. But let me tell you your whole right there in that, Imperious. If it's not a critique in the book itself as a whole, but in the choice, then guess what? Don't sit and admit that it's lazy writing. You can't, if you have a critique of the choice, give me a solidified argument why you think it's a bad choice while you haven't read the book. One of those arguments cannot be that it's lazy writing, because the only way you can substantiate lazy writing is by reading the comic book. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm sorry. That's where I'm putting my feet on the ground and holding firm. If anybody understood philosophy, if anybody understood argumentation, if anybody understood journalism and literature and communication, all of these things, there are, and this is why I highly recommend, like, look, I'm not saying that higher education is the end all be all, but I'm even talking about like doing your own research on these topics. You can get solid books on literature, argumentation, communication, philosophy. All of these areas of study will tell you how to critique and have an opinion on something by making an informed opinion. I'm going to circle back to what I said in the beginning of the show. An opinion is not fact. It is simply an opinion, and we all have a right to an opinion. But an opinion still has to be based on data, facts, variables, and factors that are transparent and available. Because an opinion without substance is an opinion that is null and void of anything. I could sit here and say the sky, I don't think the sky is blue. I think this, or I don't think water's wet. That's an opinion, but you can't sit there and tell me, well, that's his opinion, because there's nothing to it. Imperious Flex, if you think at this point it's been a bit of a trope, that is a good segue into a thesis statement of an argument. All right, I'll give you that right there. So you're stating there are factors going on in storytelling in comic books that are used as a bit of a trope, right? Now, that wasn't very scholarly the way I stated it, but you make that statement, and then what do? You bring in some facts. Okay, here's the fact. This was done, and this happened, da-da-da-da. And then you know what you do after you, and anybody that's written a research paper, this is how you formulate an argument. You create an introduction. We live in a society that today really is popular in the comic book culture. It's growing, and the way that we write is growing as well, and the way that we see these characters and how they're reflected is something that's ever changing. With that being said, I believe that we need to represent real people in real life within our comic books, because the history of comic books were very whitewashed. Blacks weren't allowed, minorities weren't allowed, LGBT representation weren't allowed. Now, I want to see that representation, but it seems that sometimes maybe this type of representation is being used as a trope. That's your introduction and your thesis statement. Now, what do you do for the rest of your paper? You formulate an argument by bringing in facts, data, and then expressing your opinion and why you're arguing such. And if you just go into it and say, if that's your introduction and the rest of your paper is this, I think it's lazy writing because other YouTubers like Ethan Van Slander or whatever his freaking name is says so, and because I keep hearing people use trigger terms and like woke and virtue signaling. I don't really know what they mean, but I'm going to use them too. And I haven't read the story, but yeah, lazy writing. There you go. There's my argument. Come on, man. Come on now. For real. Keith, thank you, man. I appreciate the support. And let's just say you have a girlfriend, but you have been with other guys, and yes, you are bisexual. Again, if you are a guy and you have a boyfriend, you're gay. Well, I mean, that's a good way to simplify it. You're not wrong, right? Simon, what's going on, Simon? All right, guys, I'm going to look at a couple more questions before I head off to get ready for the cannon. I overstayed my welcome here today with you guys, but it's been fun. Comic Toby is flexing on some 5-course meals. All right. Made to last. What's going on? Yeah, Jason King, it's an ignorant opinion and not based by fact. And when we say ignorant, we're not meaning, ignorant has such negative connotations. Ignorant means simply lacking the ability to be educated of something. Ignorant means you're ill-informed. Ignorant isn't some, finger-pointing attack like you're evil. Ignorant means ill-informed. So yeah, you cannot have an opinion that is ill-informed. Journalistic integrity. Thank you, S11. Dark Side. Some people were complaining about Cap's statements about the America Dream a few weeks ago. Anything that they see as woke is under fire. And there you go again. So it's like you take this key word, woke, and it's like we don't even understand what this term woke means. And anything that you feel like, I'm not saying, look, let's sit down. See, this is what needs to happen. We need to have discussion again. Maybe I'll start doing this. Who's down? Let's do like a book review. Let's sit down and read a book like that Captain America issue and I didn't read that story. I read a little bit about it. I didn't read it. Let's read it, and then let's come together and voice our opinions on it. And that way, I guarantee you, we all can pull certain things out from each other's opinions and say, okay, I see where you're coming from. I might not fully agree, but I see it. Instead of throwing these taglines out there, oh, I think I disagree with that. That's woke. I mean, it goes the same the other way. Just because somebody has maybe a conservative opinion on things, you're a freaking bigot or something like that, right? Like, let's throw the tagline of the day and box them into this little box that doesn't really explain who they are as an individual and as a person. It happens on both sides. So, man, for sure. Yeah, Mojo, again, I think that speaks to the fact that people aren't even reading the comic books. They're having opinions on things by reading some sensationalized blog post or by watching some YouTubers that would rather sell out this community and sell out this hobby because they care about clicks and views. All right, folks. Whew. This has been a good one, guys. So I'm gonna head out of here. We're going to get ready for Comic Book Canon. That's just 10 minutes away now. Yeah, Devo, some of the stuff that's been coming out all the time has been whack. There's you can't ever be especially with comic books, everything's not always good. But the theme of the theme now is if it has to do with the woman not being over sexualized, if it has to do with something that has to do with the minority character or their sexuality or their gender, that's when it's a problem. Nothing else though. But anyways, I'm gonna say it one more time, folks. Have your opinions, but communicate respectfully. Understand different people's experiences and perspectives, and be open to having a discussion. All right. I'm not going to tolerate any prejudices and hate on my page, whether it's political hate towards conservatives types thinkers, whether it's towards the liberal type thinkers. I'm not going to tolerate any type of hate and homophobia. I'm not going to tolerate any racism. I'm not going to tolerate any sexism and misogyny, anything on my channel. So if I lose you as a subscriber because you can't be a decent human being, I wish you well in life. I wish you well in life. And I hope that if you have children that, you can change your ways. When it comes to this matter, it's not about Tim Drake being gay, because he's not gay, he's bi. And it's not about him being bi. It's about reading the comic book before you have an opinion on the story, on the writing, plain and simple. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, coming here, hanging out with you guys is what I needed. I really did need this after this last tough week. So thank you all so much. We can hate dandelions, Caleb. I hope to see each and every one of you on the Canon in just under 10 minutes. Peace.